Good evening, Norcal Karters. It is September 14th, and what a weird year. It's already September. It's already the middle of September, and we've had it all. Virus outbreaks, pandemics, fires, just waiting for the flooding. I shouldn't have opened my mouth. But here we are, September 14th. And the past couple of months have been just really busy. So if you're looking for a karting event near you, check out norcalkarters.com. Click on the calendar link. And we have the events posted on our calendar link. If we're out of your area, still reach out to me. If I get enough requests for different areas, then who knows? Maybe I can do Norcal Karters 2.0 or West Coast Karters or something else. But yeah, it's been busy. It's been great. And many of you know this is my weekly show, and we just do updates. You can log into our app. It's hosted by Spreaker. That's Spreaker. So it's just like speaker, but there's an R in there. Spreaker. And you can search Norcal Karters. We pop right up. You can chat live with us. You can send us a comment. If we're missing your events on the calendar, reach out to me. We'll get you on there. But yeah, this podcast is for the racers. This is also for the recreational karter. So if there's a cool swap meet or function that's maybe not a quote-unquote racing event, send me a message. We'll get it on the calendar. The whole show is about promoting karting in Northern California and the surrounding areas. So let's get to it. I mean, it's busy. I was at Sonoma for the past 4 days, so I'm not burnt out. I'm just trying to gather myself and get ready. I'm going back on Wednesday. So there's a lot of events happening at Sonoma, which is great. And we have a new sponsor. So a couple weeks ago, we had Gary Carlton Racing, GFCkarting.com. They were the first team, if you will, to sign up for the calendar and to promote the events that they're going to support. And they were basically the first ones for 2021. And not far behind them, Rock Sonoma. They have also committed to 2021. And the Rock Sonoma event, I've been working up there all year. Full disclosure, I'm actually working with Christian Cameron. He runs in the mini rock class, and his family is Cameron Karting. So again, it's just full disclosure, but they have committed to 2021 as a calendar sponsor as well for their series. And the Rock Sonoma stuff there was a lot of momentum going on before the COVID thing hit. And Andy Seisman and I were talking about it last week. It was really unfortunate because there was so much momentum going. There was so much excitement in Northern California. Again, there was a racing program with Rock Sonoma, with Challenge. California Rock Championship. And there was a lot of momentum going. And Steve and Andy, they partnered up on 2 combined events. There was just a lot of stuff happening, and people were really excited that a couple race promoters were working together to promote the same package, which, again, is the Vortex Rock package, whether it's a mini, micro, GP. The shifter, the Rock shifter, has been extremely popular. The shifter limited class probably has, I might be talking out of my rear end right now, but the Rock limited shifter class, it's basically the Rock shifter with the restrictor, that probably has the biggest growth going right now at Sonoma. And again, just a lot of momentum, and it was just kind of all curtailed and cut off with the COVID thing. But August, September, the Sonoma opened back up, and last weekend it was a Rock Sonoma event combined with the Challenge Karting crew. And this week is the Rock Festival. So those that don't know, the Rock Festival is the national series. They had an event a couple of months ago in Charlotte, and this week they're coming to Sonoma. Garrett Potter was already out there a week ahead of time, surveying the track, making sure things were coming together. They already have shipments arriving, and they're already setting up for this week for the Rock event, and it looks like it's going to be a pretty good event. I can't squeeze any pre-entry numbers out of anybody because I guess I don't give them good enough alcohol, or I don't know, something. But they know I run my mouth about everything, so they were not... They didn't give me details about anything. But based on the amount of teams I've seen testing at Sonoma, because I'm out there quite frequently recently, based on the Rock Sonoma event last weekend, they were either right at 100 or a little over 100 entries for their series. There's a lot of momentum for the Rock Festival, and that's exciting. It's just good stuff happening. So Sonoma has been very busy. So Rock Sonoma, thank you for your trust and the support for 2021. We've already updated your listings for the next event coming up in October, which we'll highlight here in a minute. But thank you for the sponsorship. Every little bit helps to keep the project alive. And the monies are always going towards some sort of promotion for karting. So it's not... This is bad to say. I don't look at Norcal Karters as my business or my income. The goal of Norcal Karters is I don't want to lose money. I don't want to spend more money on it to keep it going. And I want to promote karting. And so at the end of the day, if it's a wash, I'm pretty happy with that. And some of the things we've been able to do with our sponsorships, we've been able to upgrade our equipment. Some of the ideas I'm working on is working with some professional videographers, bringing some live streaming events to the internet on race weekends. That seems to be within certain groups a pretty strong want or desire. So just little things like that, but it all takes time and money. The time, not as hard to come by as the money. So the sponsorships, it helps. So again, thank you to gfckarting.com for being the first 2021 confirmed sponsor. And thank you to Rock Sonoma for the confirmed sponsorship for 2021. And for the Rock Sonoma group, you can find more information at sanzarukarting.com. I'll spell that. SANZARU, sanzarukarting.com. And I'm not spelling that for the listeners. I'm spelling it for me because I mispronunciate it all the time. I probably should just go to the website and just read it just like I did a moment ago so I don't mispronunciate it. But all the official information, the news, the registration, event calendars, points, class structure, all of that can be found on sanzarukarting.com, and that is the Rock Sonoma page. And if you're wondering, well, why is it Sanzaru Karting and not Rock Sonoma? Very simple. Sanzaru Karting or Sanzaru Games is the sponsor for Rock Sonoma. So again, sanzarukarting.com. And last week was weird. Tonight I'm going to ramble. So I will get to the events for sure. But I'm going to ramble because last week was just really weird. There was a lot of people at Sonoma. Again, I mentioned there was, I believe it was right around 100 entries. And I keep saying Rock. But keep in mind, if you have an IAME KA100 or an IAME Swift, you are able to run in the classes at Sonoma. One of the local promoters, again, due to COVID, a lot of promoters and tracks had to just kind of go about on the fly and figure out what to do. And being that Sonoma was open for a couple of more events, they said, what the heck, let's try to get more entries. let's open it up to IAMIs. So if you have an IAMI KA100, an IAMI Swift, you can still race at Sonoma. And there's one more race here in October. So that's good. It's the more racers we can get out there, get the word out, tell a friend, just tell one friend. A couple years ago, one of my buddies made a comment. It was so stupid, but it was like brilliant. It's like whoever invented the rubber band. Brilliant. It's such a stupid idea, but it's brilliant. He made the comment. He just said, if all of us just got one person into karting a year, it'd double. It's, again, such a silly statement. And then you sit back and say, oh, wait, I'm pretty sure I can get one person into karting. So if all of us got one person into karting a year, in 1 year, karting would double. So why did I segue into that? I have no idea. But the Rock Sonoma group, they do allow IAMI KA100s. They do allow IAMI Swifts. So you can participate in their series, and they have one more event in October. So you can check that out. You can also look at the Rock Fest. If I can find it fast enough, I'll bring it up. But I believe they also offer, you might be able to run the IAME KA100 at the Rock Fest stuff as well. So keep that in mind. Now, I don't know if you're eligible for the Rock to Rio tickets or the trip to Italy if you're on an IAME product, but you can still go race. So check into that as well. If you go to norcalkarters.com, click on our calendar, we have links to the Rockfest page, and you can register there, check them out, look at the classes that they offer. And as I was rambling, again, last week was just weird. I was up there from Thursday through Sunday, and the driver I'm helping is Christian Cameron. He runs the mini rock class out there at Sonoma. And so as we were up there Thursday, we're doing a little bit of practice. Then Friday rolls around, and the county decides, hey, we don't know if it's in your best interest to make a decision, so we're going to make it for you, and yeah, there's no practice. They shut down the whole facility, and it's just weird. I'm not going to get very political on everything. It was smoky. There was definitely, the air quality was not ideal, so I won't sugarcoat that. But the fact that we weren't allowed to race based on our own personal decision was kind of actually a little upsetting to me. And so the county came in and says, nope, track's closed. Can't have an ambulance, you can't have services, boom, track's closed. So Friday, most of us were standing around, and it's like, well, what are we doing this weekend? And I know the race promoters were worried about it. I mean, when the county comes in and says, no, you're shut down for the day, we'll let you know tomorrow at 5 a.m. what you can do. And so finally the call came in Saturday morning, 5 a.m. You guys have a green light to race. And from Saturday to Sunday, it was fine. Green light, we were racing. Everything was good. And there was a really good racing at Sonoma this weekend. And again, I was up there. I was working. And so the class I'm primarily watching is a mini rock class. But I'm a shifter guy at heart, so anytime I hear a shifter banging gears, I'm going to run to the fence or at least look and watch. And the shifter action was really fun to see. Funny little story. Me and Tavish go back and forth. Tavish, he runs Cameron Karting. He's a tag guy. I'm a shifter guy. There's this little kid in the pits on his little, I don't know what it was, one of those little scooter things. He's banging gears, just going up and down the pits, going, and it was so funny. And I look at Tavish and I go, see, no kid ever pretends to be on a tag. And he gave me the middle finger, told me some polite words. But it was just funny. It's just a little kid on his little razor scooter, banging through the gears. Just, it was funny. And you can kind of see other people watching and laughing. But it was just kind of a cool little... It was a nice break in the day when, there's a lot of smoke in the air, and we're all wondering, hey, I'm wondering, am I working this weekend? The drivers are wondering, are we racing today? the driver I work with, he hates being off the track. I mean, I've tried pulling him off the track. He just ignores me. I've told him before, hey, we're not going out for the last practice session. Well, why not? He loves being on the track. The teams, they love being out there. They want to be working. They want to support their drivers. So we were just all in limbo. So that was kind of a funny little break in the day with this little kid on the razor. So, yeah, great racing. The shifter stuff, there was a lot of good racing in the shifter classes. Cole Shade put on a good performance. Aiden O'Neill. So Cole Shade's representing the Track Magic brand under the GFC tent. And it's easy to say the rival is Ron White Racing, and Aiden O'Neill is on the CRG product under Ron's tent. And Aiden definitely made a hard charge, made an attempt to take the win from Cole. And I don't know the details, but as far as what happened on the track or what not. But I could tell you Aiden closed the gap, and he was right there. And he was dive bombing Cole, and there was a lot of beautiful crossover passes. I don't think any contact was made. It was just hard racing. I don't know if Aiden's tires finally went away because he charged hard to catch up with Cole, and it's just such good racing. And then in the mini class, there was a lot of good racing. Christian, he was out in the lead, and Alex Rentala, I mean, he reeled him in, and again, Christian did what he could to maintain for the win, and Alex, I mean, had a hard fought second place right on. I mean, pushed him across the line, so that was exciting to watch. The 80 limited class, or not the 80 limited, sorry, the Rock limited class. The 80s were out there too. I don't mean to discount the 80 guys, but the Rock limited class, there was some good racing in that class, and that class is just growing. So that was cool to see. The Master Shifter class, that was really neat to see. It was Neil Joseph and Patrick O'Neill, Kevin Woods. It was pretty much the three of them. It kind of checked out, and I think Patty was leading for a while. At least 60-70% of the main event, with Neil and Woods pushing them hard, through the and Neil finally, made a pass and pulled a little bit of a gap, couple cart lengths, and I'm not going to say it was a comfortable lead, but it was a lead. And Woods and Patrick were pressuring Neil heavily through the main, and that was some clean racing. The KA, someone might have to chime in and correct me on the KA stuff. I'm not really sure of who all the participants are. I'm pretty sure it was Chase Hand that was wiped out in turn one, only because his helmet, red, white, and blue helmet. Again, I don't follow the KA junior stuff really well, but I'm pretty sure it was Chase Hand was wiped out in turn one, and I don't know. I'm pretty sure I would have kept going, but I'm sure that thought in my head would have been to pull off. He had to be, I don't know, half a track behind, at least a quarter of a track. Maybe I won't overstate it. And he won. I mean, he came from, let's say, a quarter of a track behind, parked in turn one, got himself together, and drove through the pack. And apparently he made a beautiful pass on the last lap, and couple corners from the checkered, and won the race. And so again, just outside of getting crashed out in turn one, it sounds like that was a great race as well. So a lot of good racing going on at Sonoma. And again, I already warned you, I'm going to ramble tonight. Partially just because I like to ramble. And that's what I do. But yeah, that's Rock Sonoma. So that was this past weekend, and it was a big race because it was the combined event with California Rock Cup Championship. And Andy, thank you for your sponsorship for 2020. We appreciate it. Last week, I had mentioned your sponsors. So if you're a sponsor of Andy's series, You can rewind and listen to last week's podcast. I gave all the ones on the website a shout out. Again, I mentioned gfckarting.com. They stepped up last month. And for those that are race teams or shops and you want to promote your shop a little bit more and you go to the races, I don't care where you go. I don't care if you go to Blue Max and that's the only track you go to. But if you want more exposure for your company, give me a call and we'll put together a plan for you for 2021. And again, Gary was the first one to commit to 2021. And what we've done with GFC Karting is his race calendar is on norcalkarters.com. So when you check all the events, for example, last weekend, California Rock Cup Championship, Sonoma, Rock Sonoma, and the right in between there, Team GFC Karting. So I think that's going to be pretty popular for 2021 because a lot of racers want to know, hey, do I have part supply? Do I have support at a track? And I'm sure if you called Gary a week ahead of time and said, hey, Gary, I'm going to be out at Sonoma. I see on the Norcal Karters calendar you're going to be out there. Can you bring me these parts if you have them? And it's kind of a win-win. Gary gets to sell some parts. The racer can show up to the track and know the parts are going to be there and makes it nice for everybody. So, without further ado, the upcoming events in Northern California. And since we just talked about Gary Carlton, let's start it off with gfckarting.com will be at the Rock Festival at Sonoma this week. And as far as we know right now, it's a go. So last weekend, a little bit of touch and go. This weekend, we're going. We're racing. The air definitely cleaned up over the past couple of days. So what the county was looking at was air quality. And over the past few days, Thursday and Friday, let's not sugarcoat it, it was bad. But Saturday was a little bit better. Sunday was better. And so the air quality, looking at the forecast ahead of time, we have some breezes coming through. And so for the next 10 days, I mean, our air quality should be much better, which is what the county is looking for. So I'm excited, partially because I'm going to be out there again. And and the numbers look good. There was a number of teams up last weekend using the Rock Sonoma event as a test race. So if any of the racing last weekend was an indication of the racing this weekend, it's going to be great. It's going to be a lot of fun. And that's this weekend. So that kicks off Thursday. And again, Thursday, September 17th through the 20th is Rock Festival at Sonoma. And again, GFC Karting will be present at that event. There's also the Central California Kart Racing Association. They moved their event to Santa Maria. So they have a number of members that are part of that racing series. And they wanted to try to get a couple more events spread out a little bit closer to some members. So they moved their event from Buttonwillow to Santa Maria. So again, that's CCKRA. They are also a sponsor of the Norcal Karters page. And you can visit their website at cckra.com. And again, that's Saturday and Sunday, so September 19th and 20th. And Northern Nevada Kart Club, also a sponsor of Norcal Karters and the calendar, nnkcreno.com. They add in a race event this weekend. So Sunday, September 20th, Northern Nevada Kart Club, again, nnkcreno.com. They added an event. So up until this weekend, it was not on Norcal Karters calendar. It is on there now. You can click on it. You can go to their registration page. You can go to their homepage, and you can check out Northern Nevada Kart Club. They have a race this weekend, and I believe it is race number 5 for their calendar. So actually, right there, those 3 tracks or those 3 promoters, Rock Sonoma, Challenge Karting, Central California Kart Racing Association, Northern Nevada Kart Club. They are all sponsors of the Norcal Karters calendar. It is also no coincidence. I don't think. I think it's a mindset. I don't think it's a coincidence that all 3 of them are also sponsors of the calendar and they have events going on. Because I think it's a mindset. All of us have had to adapt to changes. And if you're like myself and you're buried in the industry, we really had to make some adaptations because a lot of the tracks just shut down. Some of the tracks really had no choice. They were told by city or state, you're done, you're on our property, shut down. Some other tracks were on private land, and they were probably trying to navigate everything between the counties and the property owners, like, hey, what can we do? What can we not do? So it's been a really weird year. But I just find it interesting that the sponsors of the calendar are also the same tracks that have found a way to keep going with events. And so if you're a track, if you're a promoter, maybe reach out to these clubs, see what they did, and be creative. You know, maybe if you're a club and you can't have a racing event or you have limited numbers, maybe you could do a time attack and basically do qualifying times. Maybe you're only allowed to have 20 people at the track. It's like, okay, well, for 2 hours, we're going to run Briggs. Or for 2 hours, we're going to run 100cc piston port engines. And the best times during that time, it'll be a time attack. And then you do the same thing the following week. So that way, if someone can't make it one weekend, then they can make it the next weekend. But mix it up a little bit, and the numbers are going to be down. It's probably going to be a little bit of more work for people because this is new, it's different, but it'll keep entry money coming in. It'll keep your track in front of people. It'll keep the track name out there. Where who knows? Maybe you tap in a whole different demographic that doesn't want to go race, but they don't mind seeing if they can post a fast lap time, and never know. So, thank you to those promoters, tracks, etc. for the support of the calendar. Keep it going. And again, Team GFC Karting, their website, gfckarting.com. Rock Sonoma is senzarukarting.com. CCKRA is cckra.com. And NNKC, Northern Nevada Kart Club, nnkcreno.com, Northern Nevada Kart Club. And actually going into September, we have NCK. They have their Fall Brawl. They are also a calendar sponsor. And their schedule, don't take this the wrong way, road racing guys, it's been all over the place. And again, they've been trying to figure out how to adapt. How do we get race events? How do we cut our costs and provide better value to our racers? So they postponed one of their, I believe it was supposed to be on September 21st. They postponed that. And they're going to Thunder Hill on October 3rd and 4th for their Fall Brawl. That's a tongue twister. Fall Brawl. And they're running with one of the Mustang clubs or Cobra clubs. And I think that's a great idea. One, I don't know. In my head, it should cut their costs because they're sharing the track. Two, it's a cross promotion. Now they're out there with this whole other racing segment, showcasing karts, and maybe a couple of those guys look over and say, "Oh, that actually looks like a lot of fun. Who do we talk to about karting?" So that's I'm going to get to their event because that's October 3rd and 4th. But again, tonight I'm rambling. I warned you. The only reason I'm rambling is I'll just get to it. So this weekend, Rockfest West, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, 17th through 20th. CCKRA, 19th and 20th. Northern Nevada Kart Club, Sunday, the 20th. I'm rambling. Why? Because I just got word today that the Track Magic Owners Group had to cancel, let's call it postponed, with no definite date. But they made the decision to postpone/cancel the Track Magic Pacific Northwest Party. And I'm really, really bummed out about it. I was really looking forward to it. Just because I think what they're doing for the non-serious kart racer, I think is just a great project and a great program that they're doing. So I'm really bummed out that they're canceling it. And if you're asking, well, why did they cancel it? Well, California and Oregon are on fire. And Canby, where the track is located, they are under evacuation orders. And as bummed as I was to hear about it, I completely understand. There was a number of us traveling from California to Oregon for this thing. And I happened to reach out to LaPointe today. I didn't even know it was posted. And he just started talking to me like I knew it was canceled. And I was like, dude, I didn't know you canceled it. I was just calling to see if there's any more details I need to share on the podcast. And he goes, no, we had to cancel it. And I understand. Yeah, again, people are traveling. And it's a complete bummer to a lot of us. Like, man, there goes our September party, if you will. But there's bigger things at play. In the big picture, people are losing their houses or businesses, etc. And here I am worried about just driving to Pat's Acres to go hang out with a bunch of Track Magic owners. But I think it's a good call. I agree with it. I think it's a bad position to be put in. But at least people haven't. I actually called because I was getting ready to book my rooms and figure out my travel plans. And so it was actually perfect timing for me to find out that we're not going up there. But so I will put that on the calendar. I'll put post. I'm going to use the word postponed because canceled sounds just too definite. It just sounds like, nope, not going to happen. LaPointe has complete plans on getting this thing going again once things are a little bit more predictable. Again, their area is under evacuation orders. So our thoughts are with the people in Oregon. And on that note, our thoughts are also with Don D'Elia. He's an integral part of the Track Magic Owners Group. And this weekend he had to check himself into a hospital. Wasn't feeling very well. Now, I don't want to make light of it. I mean, he had to go to the hospital. But today he's on Facebook posting in the Track Magic Owners Group. So I take that as a good sign that he's communicating with his pals. But our thoughts go out to Don D'Elia for, again, a quick recovery, figure out what's going on, and get you back out the track. And on that note, all year long, Sonoma's actually been... The racing has been pretty good. There was one incident at the last race where Hunter Pickett got ran over and his hand got sliced open. So they had to attend to Hunter. Hunter's doing fine; he's good. And then this past weekend, Dawn had to leave the track, and then also a junior driver in the mini rock class, Anthony White, he was involved in an incident where he was actually hauled out by ambulance. I'm waiting for an update from the White family, but it did circulate around that he was airlifted. When I talked to the dad, he did confirm that, but it was a preventative measurement just to put Anthony in the best care possible, just in case. So, our thoughts are really with the White family, again, with Joe White and the Ron White racing team. Karting's a community, and you don't ever really want to see someone get hurt, but you don't want to see the kids hurt. So Joe had made the comment that they were at the hospital, and Anthony made the comment, was like, oh, okay, well, if I'm out of here in time, can I make the main event? So that was good to hear. And again, so our thoughts, we're going to send positive vibes to Don D'Elia. We're going to send positive vibes to Anthony White for a speedy recovery. So it's that was kind of if anything was a downer on the weekend, those two moments were definitely sitting on people's minds. So it's not very often it's not very often in karting that they roll an ambulance. It's not very often it gets rolled twice in a weekend. So yeah, so to both families, just know everyone's thinking about you guys, and if there's anything you need, if you want to privately message me, again, I've been in contact with both parties, but yeah, just two separate incidents, but yeah, again, I'm rambling tonight. So thoughts with again, Anthony White and Don D'Elia. So I'm sure I segued into that somehow with the postponing of the Track Magic Northwest Party. Somehow, I don't know. But that's probably how I got there. And bear with me for 1 second. I'm going to gather my thoughts and my notes. And okay, so the calendar's updated. And let's see. So yeah, we were talking about the Track Magic Northwest Party. Then I said it was postponed and blah, blah, blah. And here we are. But so GFC Karting, you're going to hear that name a lot. Why? One, he's a sponsor. Two, he goes to a lot of the events that are on my calendar. So that's the reason. So Gary Carlton looks like he's heading down to the Pro Kart Challenge in a couple of weeks. So check that out. Oh, yeah, that was my segue, because we were talking about the Track Magic Pacific Northwest Rally being postponed. That's the same weekend as Pro Kart Challenge at Button Willow, and that is also an event GFC Karting is going to. There you go, tying it all together for you. And so let's skip to October. So October, NCK Thunder Hill Fall Brawl, Saturday, September 4th, Saturday, October, Saturday, October 3rd, Sunday, October 4th, NCK Thunder Hill Fall Brawl. Again, NCKRoadRacing.com. They are a sponsor of Norcal Karters.com. And so if you click on their event, their information pops up. You can register directly from our calendar on their page. And again, that's the Fall Brawl, Thunder Hill, October 3rd and October 4th. And let's see here. That event will be run with the Shelby Club. So that is also a 2020 championship points race. And since we're talking about NCK, I hope I don't lose my place here. But they also have NCK Speed Vegas, October 25th. That was also rescheduled from October 11th. So, October 3rd and 4th, NCK Thunder Hill. They were supposed to have NCK Speed Vegas on October 11th. They postponed it a few weeks because they didn't want to have an event back-to-back for their racers. So their Speed Vegas event got postponed until October 25th. So that's NCKRoadRacing.com. And rewind, October 4th, Northern Nevada Kart Club. They have race number 6 on Sunday, October 4th. So Northern Nevada Kart Club, again, they're a sponsor, NNKCReno.com. And looking forward, we have CCKRA, Central California Kart Racing Association, cckra.com. They have an event October 17th and 18th. They're also dubbing it the Central Valley Championship. I'm not going to lie, I'm not sure why it's dubbed that. I don't know. It's obviously a special event for them. But if you go to cckra.com, you can get all the full details there. I basically just copied and pasted their schedule from their website, which is cckra.com. And again, they're dubbing it the Central Valley Championship. So that's October 17th and 18th. And end of the following week, October 24th and 25th. I already mentioned NCK Road Racing at Speed Vegas. That's Sunday, October 25th. But the final round of Rock Sonoma, it's a doubleheader, 7th and 8th. Round 7 and 8. And that is taking place October 24th and 25th. It's a doubleheader weekend for them. This is going to be a great time to kind of get in your last test, if you will, for the Rock Festival. So I know there's a lot of buzz going around that Vegas isn't happening and all that good stuff. I am not here to confirm or deny if it's happening or not. I will tell you, though, I did talk to Garrett, and he is planning on the event taking place. So, in his mindset, there is no plan to cancel Rock the Rio. So if you plan on going to Rock the Rio in November, then the Rock Sonoma event on October 24th and 25th would be a great final tune-up before Rock the Rio event on November 4th. So again, talking to Garrett and the Rock Cup USA people, they're not planning on canceling the Rock the Rio event. So the Rock Sonoma event on October 24th, 25th, again, will really be your last opportunity to see where you stand. There are a lot of fast drivers on the Rock packages coming out of Northern California, so it should be pretty good. Now, I'm going to cover my ass just in case someone says, well, what about this? All of us need to be flexible right now. So this past weekend is a perfect example. We were free and clear of COVID. We were racing. Again, there were some restrictions. We had to wear face masks. There was only 1 or 2 crew people allowed in the pits per driver. So we knew that for the past few months. None of us could have really planned on Friday practice being shut down because of smoke. That was out of the track's control. That was out of the race promoter's control. The county basically says we're not allowing you to roll an ambulance because of air quality. And no ambulance, no track time. So that's the short version. So to cover my own butt for Rock the Rio, if I was a racer, I would plan on going. My only contingent would be make sure you have refundable tickets or travel plans, because again, for these race promoters, all of them, there are so many things out of their control. I think it's pretty courageous of Rock and Garrett to put their necks out there and say, yeah, no, we are still planning on it. Because it's probably easy enough just to fold up and say, oh, we're done. Not sure. Not going to take the risk. We're done. So, again, with that in mind, be flexible. Make sure if you book a room, maybe book it with a credit card that has travel insurance or buy the travel insurance, etc. Just in case no one knows what's going to happen. But talking to Garrett, he's planning on it. This past week, he was very concerned about the Rock Sonoma event, and it was never a thought where I saw him express, "Oh, we're going to cancel it." It was the thought of, okay, I have trailers rolling in now to Rock Sonoma, and his mindset is, how do we make this work? Because he has too much capital on the highways right now rolling into Sonoma to cancel the event. So it was, okay, well, how do we make it work? Let's make this work. Let's make this work. And he spent a lot of time putting that effort in to make it work. And I know the Rock Sonoma group did as well. How do we get on the track? What about air quality? What about this? So, but you know what? At the end of the weekend, Sunday rolled around, and there was some just great racing to be had. So it's a mindset. Make it happen. So again, I'm rambling tonight. I don't know. I talked to enough people this weekend, but for whatever reason, I just feel the need to ramble. But yeah, that wraps up our October. So if you followed all of that, I'm impressed, because it's my show and I didn't follow any of it. So if you want a quick recap, I'm not going to put this at the beginning of the show because I don't ever do editing, but let's see here. Oh, I'm checking in my chat room. Kimberly Cameron, they just posted a GoFundMe page for Anthony. So that's Anthony White. They just posted a GoFundMe page. So give me one moment. See, people can live chat with me. Bear with me for 1 second here. I'm still here. I know there's a few of you out there who go, just shut up, dude. But sorry, this is important. I've done it many times in the past when there's been a racer or a family in need. I've posted it, GoFundMe pages in the past. So let's see here. If you go to the Rock Sonoma Facebook page, it's the second post down because they have their event page pinned. So if you scroll the second event down, they have a GoFundMe page. I'm actually going to copy and paste. I'm going to put that on my podcast page right now. Again, you go to Spreaker.com, look for Norcal Karters. And I just posted the link. I will also post it on the Norcal Karters blog. I will post it on the Norcal Karters Facebook page. But, yep, they got to GoFundMe. So, let's see here. Perfect. And like I mentioned earlier, so yeah, I talked to his dad, Joe, last night. And they did air flight him, so that's going to be an expensive helicopter ride, because they always are. But they air flighted him out of precaution, not out of necessity. So that was really relieving to hear. But yeah, there we go. They have a GoFundMe site set up already. Perfect. So I shared that link on... shared that link on the Norcal Karters podcast page. Perfect. And Kimberly, thank you for listening to the show. That was perfect timing because I was rambling. So we have the link there, and I'll get it on the Facebook page. And I'm going to rewind for a second. We talked about September. We talked about October. And I think I covered everything for September, October. So perfect. Well, for those of you that hung in, thank you. And if you fast forward to the very end, I don't blame you. I do it all the time. So there you have it. NorcalKarters.com. Click on the calendar for all the events coming up. Thank you to all of our sponsors. And also, thank you to all that have listened. I'm gonna wrap this show up on a good note. On the way home yesterday, two stories. So I was talking to my wife. She was at In-N-Out in Elk Grove. So she was at In-N-Out Burger in Elk Grove. And as she was heading south on 99, she saw a truck, and she thinks it was a gray truck pulling one of those travel toy haulers. And on the back of the toy hauler, there was a picture of two carts, number 44, and she thought number 8 or number 6. And she thought that was cool. But her telling me that was prompted because I was at one of the local stops I make on the way home, at one of the local produce stands, and I'm wearing my Norcal Karters t-shirt. And if you'd like to support the cause, you can buy a couple of t-shirts. We appreciate it. Contact me directly or go on eBay and just Google Norcal Karter t-shirt. It'll pop right up. So I'm wearing my Norcal Karters t-shirt. And I'm getting ready to check out of the line. I have, some tamales and a drink and kind of my drive-through food, but it wasn't a drive-through. And the young lady behind the register looks at my shirt and goes, "Oh, Norcal Karters." I have a cart. And I go, "Oh, okay." So I'm already preparing myself for, the fun cart, the yard cart, etc. And she goes, "Yeah, I have a cart." And I go, "Okay, well, what kind?" And she goes, "Well, I'm building a shifter cart." And the next words out of my mouth were, "You want to get married?" So we started talking, and so she's building a cart, and her dad laid down the stipulation, well, if you want a racing cart, you need to work on it, you need to build it, etc. And she said she was having a problem with it. It wasn't running quite right. And so I'm married, so I might flirt a little bit, but I wasn't hitting on her. So just to make that clear to everybody. But so I made the comment to her, it's like, "Hey, if you give me your contact information, I will send you a couple of videos that might help you out on the electrical problem." And so I'm a really big fan of the Norcal Karter t-shirt right now. My wife, not so much. But it was just a conversation starter. And again, this young lady, she's putting together her cart. And so today I sent her over a couple of help links because I'm pretty sure I know what the problem is on an 80. Very rarely is it ever a CDI box or a stator or anything like that for an electrical problem. It's usually an old spark plug, or honestly, it's usually just the spark plug cap, a little $6 spark plug cap, or it's the plug wire from the cap to the coil, or the extension people use on the coil coming from the ignition system. So most of us have to make jumper wires to go from the stator to the coil, because on a dirt bike, the coil is mounted to the frame right above the engine. There's no jumper wires or anything else needed because everything's nice and compact. Well, on a go-kart, most people put their CDIs on the seat or somewhere else. They need a jumper wire. Well, the Honda CR80 coil has a small bullet connector, and it's a Japanese or metric size. So you're never going to find it in a hardware store. Well, everyone over here uses some sort of a bullet connector from Ace Hardware or wherever, Orchard Supply if they're still in business. And they never fit, so you crimp them down. And that never works. They always pop out. So those are usually the problems. Spark plug cap, plug wire, or your jumper wire incorrect fittings. So I sent her over the resource information, and that kind of made my day on the way home. It's like, man, the effort's kind of paying off. I'm wearing my own shirt, and she asked about it. She knew what a go-kart was, which most people, when they hear about karting, most people have no idea what we do. So just we have to be polite and kind of share what we do if we want the sport to grow. But at the same time, we're kind of tired of hearing about the guy with the fun cart that he bought on Craigslist with the Harbor Freight motor that he's hauling ass doing 20 miles an hour illegally on the highway or whatever. But yeah, I think that's how I'm going to wrap up my show. So I will post a link to all the events, the calendar. I'll do an article tomorrow on norcalkarters.com. I'll also do I'll share the GoFundMe page for Anthony White. So get that going, spread the word there. And yeah, let's see how long you guys had to suffer through this one. Oh my goodness. 55 minutes. That's a long one. Oh, ground the coil. That's also a good one on the ignition. That comes in from Cameron Karting. So that means she's actually listening live. I'm sorry, Kimberly, that you've suffered through this podcast for this long. But again, thank you to all the sponsors. And everyone have a great week. And I'll do what I can when I'm at Sonoma this week to get some Facebook footage out there. And yeah, maybe I'll try to get some interviews or something going. Well, this week's going to be fun. Rock Festival, Sonoma, happening in a couple of days. So thank you, everyone, for tuning in, and have a great evening.